His phone lit up at the dinner table. Tech billionaire's daughter still missing, day 21. He looked at the photo. Green eyes. Small scar above the left eyebrow. Then he looked up. Same eyes. Same scar. 3 feet away, laughing at his daughter's joke. Autumn Brooks, the tenant he was falling for, wasn't Autumn Brooks. She was the girl from the alert. The one everyone thought was dead. Sitting in his house. Playing with his kid. And she had no idea he just figured it out. Before we dive into this emotional journey, if you're enjoying these stories of unexpected love and redemption, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story that might just change how you see the world. Now, let's begin. It was Friday evening. Garrett Fisher sat at his kitchen table in the Capitol Hill rental house, calculator in one hand, past due electric bill in the other. The numbers didn't add up. They never did anymore. 35 years old. Widower. Father to a 14-year-old girl who needed new school clothes, braces, and about 17 things he couldn't afford. The contractor jobs had been slow this summer. 2 clients backed out. 1 paid late. His savings account had exactly $412 in it, and rent was due in a week. He looked around the kitchen. Yellow paint peeling near the window. Linoleum floor cracked by the sink. But it was theirs. His and Ruby's. The house he'd moved them into after Karen died 3 years ago, because their old apartment had too many ghosts. Dad. Ruby appeared in the doorway, all gangly limbs and dark curls pulled into a messy knot. She wore an old Nirvana shirt that used to be his, holes in both sleeves. Can I go to Morgan's tomorrow? Yeah, sure. He set the calculator down. You finish your summer reading? She rolled her eyes. The universal teenage translation for obviously, Dad, I'm not stupid. I'm serious, Rubes. School starts Monday. I know. I finished it. She grabbed an apple from the counter, studied him. Too perceptive, that kid. Always had been. You okay? Fine. You're doing the bill thing. Just organizing. You're stressed. Not a question. She bit into the apple, leaned against the counter. Are we okay? Like money okay? He hated this. Hated that she had to think about money at 14. That she noticed when he got quiet, when he stared at numbers too long, when he skipped buying himself new boots because hers were more important. We're fine, he said. Smiled to prove it. I'm picking up that renovation job on Queen and next week. Big one. We'll be good. She didn't look convinced, but she nodded. Kissed his forehead on her way past, apple in hand. Love you, old man. Love you too, kid. When she disappeared upstairs, he opened his laptop. Pulled up Craigslist. Typed, room for rent, Capitol Hill, $800 per month. The house had 3 bedrooms. Ruby's. His. And the small one at the end of the hall that had been Karen's art studio once, before the cancer took her painting hand, then her strength, then everything else. He'd left it empty for 3 years. Couldn't go in there. Couldn't look at her easels, her dried-up brushes, the half-finished canvas of Ruby at age 11. But $800 a month would cover the shortfall. Maybe more. He wrote the listing. Quiet neighborhood. Walking distance to U of W. Shared kitchen and bathroom. No smoking. No overnight guests. First and last month required. Posted it. Closed the laptop. Felt like he'd just betrayed something he couldn't name. That same evening, Autumn Holland scrolled through rental listings on her phone, sitting in the back of a coffee shop near the University of Washington campus. 24 years old. Graduate student in environmental science. Daughter of Roger Holland, tech billionaire, ranked 14th on the Forbes list. Nobody here knew that last part. She'd enrolled under her mother's maiden name, Brooks. Paid her tuition from a trust fund her father didn't monitor closely. Wore clothes from Target instead of the designers her father's assistant usually ordered. Let her blonde hair grow out. No more monthly salon appointments. Bought a used Honda Civic instead of the Tesla her father offered. For the first time in her life, she was just Autumn. Not Roger Holland's daughter. Not the girl people befriended for access to her father's world. Not the heiress everyone assumed was shallow, spoiled, useless. Just Autumn. She'd been crashing on a friend's couch for 3 weeks, since the semester started. But that couldn't last. She needed a place. Somewhere cheap. Somewhere real. Somewhere no one would think to look for a billionaire's daughter. A new listing popped up. Room for rent, Capitol Hill, $800 per month. She clicked it. Read the details. Small room. Shared spaces. Quiet neighborhood. The photos showed a normal house. Worn but clean. A kitchen with mismatched chairs. Hardwood floors that needed refinishing. Perfect. She called the number. It rang 3 times. A man answered. Hello. Hi, I'm calling about the room. Her voice came out nervous. She hated that. The listing you just posted? Oh, yeah. You're fast. He sounded tired. Older. You a student? Grad student. U of W. Environmental Science. Okay. When do you want to see it? Tomorrow. He paused. She heard a TV in the background. A girl's voice saying something about Thor, Ragnarok. Tomorrow works, he said. Morning? Around 10. Perfect. Thank you. Name. Autumn. Autumn Brooks. Garrett Fisher. I'll text you the address. He hung up. No small talk. No questions about her life, her family, her bank account. Just practical. Normal. She smiled. Tomorrow, she'd meet Garrett Fisher. Rent his room. Start her normal life. She didn't know she was about to fall in love with him. The next morning, Autumn parked her Honda in front of a narrow two-story house on a tree-lined street. The house had blue paint that needed touching up. A small front porch with 2 chairs. A lawn that was more weeds than grass. She grabbed her bag. Walked up the cracked concrete path. Before she could knock, the door opened. The man standing there made her forget how to speak. Garrett Fisher was maybe 6'1". Broad shoulders. Carpenter's hands, scarred and calloused. Dark brown hair that needed a cut. Gray eyes that looked like they'd seen too much but still had warmth buried somewhere deep. He wore jeans and a faded green Henley, sleeves pushed to his elbows. 30-something. Wedding ring tan line still visible on his left hand. Handsome in the way men who work with their hands are handsome. Real. Solid. Autumn, he said. Yeah. Hi. She extended her hand. Garrett. His handshake was firm. Brief. Professional. Come in. The house smelled like coffee and something baking. The living room had a worn couch, a TV, shelves full of books. Framed photos on the walls. A man and woman. A little girl growing up in snapshots. That's Ruby, Garrett said, following her gaze. My daughter. She's 14. You be sharing the house with both of us. That's fine. Autumn smiled. I have a younger brother. I'm used to chaos. He almost smiled. Almost. Rooms upstairs. She followed him up the narrow staircase. He moved like someone comfortable in his own space. Didn't talk much. Didn't fill silence with nonsense. The room was small. A twin bed. A desk. A window overlooking the backyard. Clean but empty. Impersonal. It's not much, he said. It's perfect. He looked at her like he didn't believe her. You sure? I mean, you're a grad student. This is pretty bare bones. I don't need much. She walked to the window. Trees. A neighbor's garden. Sky. Honestly, I like simple. $800 a month, he said. First and last up front. Shared bathroom down the hall. Kitchen's open. I cook most nights. You're welcome to join or do your own thing. She turned. You cook? Yeah. Ruby and I eat around 6:30. Nothing fancy. I'd love to join. If that's okay. He studied her. Those gray eyes trying to figure her out. Sure, he said finally. That works. When can I move in? Whenever. Today. He blinked. Today. I don't have much. Just some boxes. Clothes. Books. She felt desperate suddenly. Afraid he'd change his mind. Afraid she'd lose this normal house, this quiet man, this chance at a real life. I can pay you right now. Cash. Cash. I don't trust banks much. The lie came easy. She'd practiced. Is that okay? He hesitated, then nodded. Yeah, okay. She pulled $1,600 bills from her wallet. Counted them out. Handed them over. His eyebrows rose slightly at the cash, but he didn't comment. Took the money. Folded it. Welcome home, Autumn Brooks, he said. And she felt something crack open in her chest. Home. She hadn't had one of those in years. Monday evening arrived and Autumn had been living in Garrett's house for 2 days when she realized she was in trouble. Not the kind of trouble her father's lawyers could fix. The other kind. The kind that started when Garrett came home from a job site covered in sawdust, smelling like cut wood and sweat, and smiled at Ruby like she was his entire world. The kind that bloomed when he cooked dinner with capable hands, moving around the kitchen like he'd done this 1,000 times. The kind that took root when he asked Autumn about her day and actually listened to the answer. She sat at the kitchen table now, Monday evening, textbook open in front of her. Environmental policy. She'd read the same paragraph 4 times. Garrett stood at the stove, stirring something in a pot. He wore a gray t-shirt with paint stains. Jeans worn soft at the knees. His hair was still damp from the shower. Ruby sat across from Autumn, doing math homework. This is impossible, she muttered. What is? Autumn asked. Algebra. Why do I need to find X? What did X ever do to me? Autumn laughed. Want help? Ruby looked up, hopeful. You're good at math. Pretty good. Dad's terrible at it. I heard that, Garrett said, not turning around. It's true. Ruby pushed her notebook toward Autumn. He tried to help me last week. We both almost cried. Autumn looked at the problem. Quadratic equations. She grabbed a pencil. Okay, so here's the trick. She walked Ruby through it. Step by step. Making it simple. Garrett glanced over his shoulder. Watched them. Something shifted in his expression. You're really good at this, Ruby said, wonder in her voice. I had a good teacher once. Autumn thought of Mrs. Patterson, her 10th grade math teacher. The only adult at her prep school who treated her like a person instead of a checkbook. She made it make sense. Can you help me all year? Ruby, Garrett said, warning in his voice. Don't impose. I'm not. I'm asking. It's not an imposition, Autumn said quickly. I'd love to help. Garrett turned fully now. Studied her. You sure? Completely. Their eyes met. Held for 3 seconds too long. Ruby looked between them. A slow smile spread across her face. What? Garrett said. Nothing. Ruby's smile got bigger. Absolutely nothing. Dinner's ready. He turned back to the stove, ears slightly red. They ate at the small table. Spaghetti with homemade sauce. Garlic bread. Salad from the farmer's market. This is incredible, Autumn said after her first bite. It's just pasta, Garrett said. It's really good pasta. She meant it. The sauce had depth. Layers. Where'd you learn to cook? He was quiet for a moment. Ruby filled the silence. Mom taught him, she said. Before she got sick. Autumn's heart dropped. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's okay. Garrett's voice was steady. Practiced. Karen loved cooking. Taught me everything. Said I needed to know how to feed Ruby properly if anything ever happened. She had breast cancer, Ruby said. Matter of fact in the way kids who've lived through tragedy are matter of fact. 3 years ago. She fought for 18 months. Autumn set her fork down. That must have been so hard. It was. Ruby looked at her dad. Something passed between them. Shared grief. Shared survival. But we made it. Garrett reached over. Squeezed Ruby's hand. Autumn felt like an intruder in this moment. This private language of loss. Anyway, Ruby said, breaking the heaviness. Dad's a really good cook now. Better than Mom, but don't tell her ghost I said that. Garrett actually laughed. She'd come back just to argue with you. She totally would. They finished dinner. Ruby disappeared upstairs to finish homework. Autumn stood to clear plates. You don't have to, Garrett said. I want to. They worked in silence. She washed. He dried. Their hands brushed once over a plate. Both of them pulled back like they'd been burned. Can I ask you something? He said finally. Her stomach tightened. Sure. Why grad school? Environmental science seems like a tough field. Relief. He wasn't asking about her family. Her money. Her real name. I care about it, she said. Simple truth. The planet's dying. Someone has to try to fix it. That's a heavy burden for one person. Maybe. But if everyone thought that, nothing would change. He was quiet. Drying the same plate for too long. What? She said. Nothing. Just, you remind me of Karen sometimes. She was like that. Believed she could change things. Volunteer work. Community gardens. She dragged me to city council meetings about green spaces. She sounds amazing. She was. He set the plate down. Looked at Autumn. Really looked. You're different than I expected. What did you expect? I don't know. College kids usually, they're louder. More entitled. You're quiet. Thoughtful. Because I've spent my whole life being loud and entitled and it got me nothing real, she thought. Because I'm hiding from everything I used to be. I'm just me, she said. Yeah. His voice went soft. That's what I mean. The air changed. Charged. She could feel her pulse in her throat. He stepped back. Put distance between them. I should check on Ruby's homework. Okay. He left the kitchen. Autumn gripped the edge of the sink. Breathed. This was bad. She'd been here 2 days and already she was falling. 1 week in, and Autumn had a routine. Wake up at 6:30. Run 3 miles through the neighborhood. Shower. Make coffee. Study at the kitchen table until Garrett and Ruby woke up. Help Ruby with homework. Attend her graduate classes. Come home. Cook with Garrett or watch him cook. Eat dinner together. Talk about small things. Safe things. Movies. Books. Ruby's terrible jokes. Never talk about money. Never talk about her father. Never talk about the life she'd left behind. It worked. Until Sunday afternoon, when everything shifted. She came home from the library around 2. Found Garrett in the backyard, building something. He'd set up sawhorses. Plywood. Tools everywhere. Ruby sat in the grass, reading. "What are you making?" Autumn asked. Garrett looked up. Sweat on his forehead. White t-shirt streaked with dirt. Bookshelf. Ruby's been asking for one. "Can I help?" He hesitated. "I'm good with my hands," she said. Then felt her face heat. I can follow instructions." Ruby snorted. Garrett shot his daughter a look. Then nodded. "Sure. Grab those screws." They worked for 2 hours. He showed her how to measure. How to drill pilot holes. How to fit the pieces together without forcing them. His hands covered hers once, guiding the drill. He stepped back immediately. Apologized. "Don't," she said. "Don't what?" "Apologize. You didn't do anything wrong." He met her eyes. Something unspoken moved between them. Ruby cleared her throat loudly. "Should I leave you two alone?" "Ruby," Garrett warned. "I'm just saying. The tension is thick. Go inside." "But Dad." "Inside. Now." Ruby grabbed her book, grinning like she'd won the lottery. "I'll be upstairs. Definitely not spying from the window." When she was gone, Autumn laughed. "She's relentless. She thinks she's a matchmaker." He ran a hand through his hair. "I'm sorry. She's been on me to date for a year. She sees a woman under 40 and loses her mind. It's sweet. She wants you to be happy." "I am happy. Are you?" The question landed hard. He went still. "I'm fine," he said. "That's not the same thing." "No." He set the drill down. Looked at her fully. "I guess it's not." "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Yeah. Do you ever let yourself feel anything? Or do you just keep building things and cooking dinner and pretending you're not lonely?" His jaw tightened. "That's not fair." "Maybe not. But it's true. You've known me a week, Autumn." "I know. But I see you." She took a breath. "Risked everything. You work yourself to exhaustion. You take care of Ruby. You take care of the house. But who takes care of you?" "I don't need taking care of. Everyone needs someone." He shook his head. "I can't. I'm not looking for anything. I have Ruby. I have work. That's enough." "Is it?" "It has to be." The words hung there. Final. She nodded. Stepped back. "Okay. Autumn. It's fine. I get it." She forced a smile. "I should go study." She walked inside. Up to her room. Closed the door. Sat on the bed. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "This is getting ridiculous. Come home. Dad's losing his mind. We miss you. Tyler." Her brother. Somehow he'd found her number. She deleted the text. Looked around the small room. The life she'd built here in 1 week felt more real than 24 years in her father's world. But Garrett had just drawn a line. And she didn't know how to cross it without destroying everything. Have you ever wanted something you knew you couldn't have? What did you do? Drop your thoughts below, and if this story's hitting you right in the chest, subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Wednesday morning arrived and Garrett avoided her. 3 days since their conversation in the backyard, and he'd mastered the art of being present without being there. He left for work before she woke up. Came home late. Ate dinner quickly. Disappeared to his room. Ruby noticed. "What did you do to him?" she asked Wednesday morning, cornflakes crunching between words. Autumn looked up from her coffee. "What?" "Dad. He's being weird. Weirder than normal." Ruby pointed her spoon accusingly. "He won't even look at you." "I didn't do anything." "Liar." "Ruby. You said something. He's been like this since Sunday." Ruby's dark eyes narrowed. "What happened?" Autumn sighed. Set her mug down. "I asked him if he was happy. And he didn't like the question." Ruby groaned. "Of course he didn't. Dad doesn't do feelings. He does work and worried parenting and pretending everything's fine when it's not. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed. Maybe you should push harder." Ruby finished her cereal. "Someone needs to. He's been stuck since Mom died. Won't date. Won't even think about it. Just works and worries and acts like that's a life. He loves you. That's something." "I know. But I'm 14. In 4 years I'm gone. Then what? He sits in this house alone forever." The thought made Autumn's chest ache. Ruby stood, grabbed her backpack. "Talk to him. Please. He listens to you." "I don't think he does." "He does. I see how he looks at you when you're not paying attention. Ruby headed for the door, then paused. He's scared. Of feeling something. Of losing someone again. But that's not a reason to stop living. Then she was gone. Off to school. Leaving Autumn alone with her coffee and the truth. She was falling in love with a man who wouldn't let himself fall back. It was Thursday evening and Garrett's truck broke down on a job site in Ballard. He called Ruby from a client's phone. I'll be late. Tow truck's coming, but it might be an hour. Want me to ask Autumn to pick you up? No, Dad. I'll figure it out, Rubes. Order pizza for dinner. Money's in the drawer. He hung up before she could argue. Sat on the curb outside a half-renovated kitchen. September rain starting to fall. Cold and steady. His phone was dead. The tow truck was 40 minutes out. The client had left an hour ago. He was alone in the rain, and all he could think about was Autumn's question. Are you happy? No. He wasn't. He was surviving. Getting through days. Providing for Ruby. Doing the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But happy? He didn't even know what that word meant anymore. Karen had been his happy. Marrying her at 22. Building a life. Having Ruby. Weekend hikes and bad movie nights and fights about whose turn it was to take out the trash. Normal. Real. Happy. Then cancer stole it. And he'd spent 3 years making sure Ruby was okay. Making sure the bills were paid. Making sure they stayed afloat. He hadn't thought about his own happiness once. Until Autumn moved in. Autumn with her green eyes and quiet laugh. Autumn who helped Ruby with math and didn't complain about the small room or the worn furniture. Autumn who saw through his walls like they were made of glass. Autumn who was 24 years old and brilliant and kind and completely off limits. He was 35. A widower. A father. A man with calloused hands and a mortgage and a life that didn't have room for complications. The rain came harder. He stood. Started walking. The tow truck could find him. 20 minutes later, headlights pulled up beside him. Autumn's Honda. She rolled down the window. Get in. How did you? Ruby called me. Said you were being stubborn. She leaned across, pushed the passenger door open. You're soaked. Get in the car, Garrett. He climbed in. Water dripping everywhere. She handed him a towel from the back seat. Ruby told me where the job site was. You didn't have to come. I know. She pulled back onto the road. Drove through rain-slicked streets. But you were walking in the rain like some tragic movie character, so here we are. Despite everything, he almost smiled. They drove in silence. Windshield wipers beating steady rhythm. I'm sorry, he said finally. For what? Avoiding you. Being cold. You didn't deserve that. She kept her eyes on the road. You were protecting yourself. Yeah. From me. From this. He gestured between them. Whatever this is. She was quiet for a long moment. Then, what if I don't want you to protect yourself from me? Autumn. I know all the reasons it's complicated. The age thing. Ruby. Your life. I get it. She pulled up to a red light. Turned to face him. But I moved here to find something real. And you're the most real thing I've found. His heart hammered. You don't know me. I know you wake up at 5:30 every morning. I hear you making coffee, trying to be quiet. I know you check on Ruby twice before you leave for work. I know you hate green peppers but eat them anyway when Ruby puts them in the stir-fry. I know you read before bed. Always something about woodworking or architecture. I know you still wear your wedding ring on a chain around your neck because I've seen it when your shirt shifts. He couldn't breathe. I know you're scared, she continued. I know you think you're too old for me or too broken or too whatever. But Garrett, I'm scared too. I'm terrified. Because I haven't felt this way about anyone ever, and you won't even look at me anymore. The light turned green. She drove. He sat there, drowning in words he didn't know how to say. I can't give you what you want, he said quietly. What do I want? Someone without baggage. Someone your age. Someone who can take you out without worrying about babysitters and bills and whether his truck will make it through another winter. You think that's what I want? Isn't it? She pulled into their driveway. Killed the engine. Turned to face him fully. I want someone who cooks dinner every night because it matters to him. Someone who builds bookshelves for his daughter and fixes broken faucets and reads about dovetail joints before bed. I want someone real. Someone who's lived. Someone who knows what loss feels like and still gets up every morning and tries. Autumn. I want you, Garrett. Just you. Exactly as you are. The rain pounded on the roof. He stared at her. This beautiful, impossible woman who had no idea what she was asking for. I'm a mess, he said. So am I. You're 24. So. I'm 11 years older than you. I can do math. I have a teenage daughter. I love Ruby. I'm broke. I rent this house. My truck just died. I can barely keep the lights on most months. She reached across the console. Took his hand. I don't care about any of that. Yes, you do, he thought. You just don't know it yet. Because you're young and idealistic and you think love conquers everything. But it doesn't. Love doesn't pay bills. Love doesn't fix broken trucks. Love doesn't survive when reality shows up. He pulled his hand away. I should go inside. Pain flashed across her face. Right. Okay. He opened the door. Stepped into the rain. Garrett. He turned back. I meant what I said. All of it. Her voice was steady despite the tears he could see forming. When you're ready to stop being scared, I'll be here. He nodded. Couldn't speak. Walked inside. Ruby sat on the couch, pizza box open in front of her. She took one look at his face and knew. You're an idiot, she said. Probably. She's perfect for you. She's a kid, Ruby. She's 24. Mom was 21 when you met her. That was different. How? It just was. He headed for the stairs. I'm going to change. Dad. He stopped. Didn't turn around. You're allowed to be happy again, Ruby said softly. Mom would want that. The words hit like a punch. He went upstairs. Changed into dry clothes. Sat on his bed. Pulled the chain from under his shirt. Karen's wedding ring, hanging next to his. You're allowed to be happy again. Was he? Did he even remember how? Saturday afternoon. The tension in the house was unbearable. Autumn stayed in her room most of the weekend. Garrett worked on the bookshelf in the garage. Ruby stomped around, slamming doors, making her frustration known. By Saturday afternoon, Ruby had had enough. She cornered Autumn in the kitchen. Okay. New plan. What? You and Dad are being ridiculous. So I'm fixing it. Ruby, there's nothing to fix. Liar. Ruby pulled out her phone. We're going to the Pike Place market tomorrow. All three of us. Family outing. I don't care what you think. You're coming. Dad's coming. We're going to walk around and eat mini donuts and look at flowers, and you two are going to remember how to be human. Your dad doesn't want. My dad is scared. There's a difference. Ruby's eyes were fierce. My mom died, Autumn. It was horrible. The worst thing that ever happened to us. And Dad shut down. He became this robot person who works and cooks and pays bills but doesn't feel anything. Ruby. Then you moved in. And for the first time in 3 years, I saw him laugh. Like really laugh. I saw him look forward to coming home. I saw him care about something other than surviving. Ruby's voice cracked. So no. I'm not letting him throw that away because he's scared. And I'm not letting you give up on him. Autumn's eyes burned. What if he doesn't want this? He does. He's just forgotten how to want things. Ruby grabbed Autumn's hand. Please. Come tomorrow. Give him one more chance. Autumn looked at this brave, grieving, stubborn 14-year-old and saw herself. Saw everyone who'd ever loved someone scared to love them back. Okay, she whispered. I'll come. Ruby hugged her. Hard. And Autumn held on, hoping tomorrow wouldn't break her heart completely. On Sunday morning. Pike Place Market on a Sunday morning was chaos. Tourists everywhere. Street musicians playing. Vendors shouting about fresh salmon and organic apples. The smell of coffee and flowers and the ocean mixing together. Garrett walked between Ruby and Autumn, hands shoved in his jacket pockets, trying to figure out how he'd been manipulated into this. Ruby had ambushed him at breakfast. We're going to the market. All of us. No arguments. I have work. On Sunday? Try again. She'd crossed her arms. You're coming. Autumn's coming. We're going to have fun like a normal family. We're not. Don't. Ruby's voice had gone sharp. Don't say we're not a family. She lives here. She eats with us. She helps me with homework. That's family. So here he was. Walking through Pike Place Market on a perfect September morning, trying not to notice how Autumn looked in her yellow sundress and white sneakers. Trying not to notice how the sunlight caught her hair. Trying not to notice anything. Failing completely. Look. Ruby pointed to a flower stand. Mom loved those. Dahlias. Deep purple. Karen had grown them in the backyard of their old apartment. Cut them fresh every week for the kitchen table. Autumn walked over. Touched the petals gently. They're beautiful. The vendor, an older woman with dirt under her nails, smiled. $5 a bunch. I'll take 3, Autumn said. Wait, Garrett started. Too late. She was already paying. The vendor wrapped them in brown paper, handed them over. Autumn turned, offered 1 bunch to Ruby. For your room. Ruby's face lit up. Really? Yeah. Then Autumn handed one to Garrett. For the kitchen table. If you want. He took them. Stared at the purple blooms. Felt something crack in his chest. Thank you, he managed. She smiled. Small. Uncertain. You're welcome. They kept walking. Ruby led them through the market like a tour guide. Pointed out the fish throwers. The original Starbucks. The gum wall. That's disgusting, Autumn said, staring at the alley covered in chewed gum. It's art, Ruby argued. It's a health hazard. Garrett laughed before he could stop himself. Both of them turned. Stared at him. What? He said. You laughed, Ruby said, grinning. An actual laugh. Mark this day. I laugh. Not lately. Ruby grabbed Autumn's hand. Come on. Donuts. She dragged Autumn toward Daily Dozen Donuts. Left Garrett to follow. He watched them. Ruby animated, talking with her hands. Autumn listening, smiling, asking questions. They looked like they belonged together. The thought terrified him. They bought a dozen mini donuts. Cinnamon sugar. Still warm. Sat on a bench overlooking Elliott Bay. Ferries cutting across gray-blue water. Seagulls screaming overhead. Ruby ate 4 donuts in 2 minutes. I'm going to check out that record store we passed. Be back in 20. Ruby, Garrett started. 20 minutes, Dad. You two can survive that long without me. She was already walking away, backpack bouncing. Leaving them alone. Garrett ate a donut. Tasted nothing. Autumn stared at the water. She's not subtle. No. I can go with her if you want. Give you space. Don't. She looked at him. Surprised. He sighed. Set the donut bag down. I'm sorry. For being cold. For avoiding you. For all of it. You don't have to apologize. I do. He turned to face her. You said something true. Thursday night. In the car. And instead of being honest, I ran. You were protecting yourself. I was being a coward. A fairy horn blew in the distance. She waited. Karen and I met when I was 22, he said. I was framing houses. She was waiting tables. We met at a diner. She brought me coffee. I asked her out. 6 months later we were married. Autumn listened. Didn't interrupt. Everyone said we were too young. Too broke. Too impulsive. But it worked. We were happy. We had Ruby. Built a life. He swallowed. Then Ruby turned 11 and Karen found a lump. Garrett. Stage 3. Aggressive. They tried surgery. Chemo. Radiation. She fought for 18 months. Lost her hair. Lost her strength. Lost pieces of herself every day. Near the end, she didn't recognize Ruby sometimes. Didn't know who I was. His voice broke. He stopped. Breathed. Autumn's hand found his. Squeezed. She died on a Tuesday, he continued. April 7th. 3 years ago. Ruby was 11. I was 32. And I had no idea how to keep going. But you did. Because Ruby needed me. Because bills don't stop. Because life doesn't pause for grief. He looked at their joined hands. So I worked. I cooked. I made sure Ruby was okay. I survived. That's not living. No, it's not. He met her eyes. Then you showed up. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt something other than numb. And it scared the hell out of me. Why? Because I can't lose someone again, Autumn. I barely survived losing Karen. If I let myself feel this, he gestured between them. If I let myself fall for you and something happens. Nothing's going to happen. You don't know that. No one knows that. About anything. That's life. Exactly. So why risk it? She was quiet for a long moment. Watching ferries cross the bay. Then, my mom died when I was 12. He went still. Car accident. Drunk driver. She was picking me up from a sleepover. Autumn's voice was steady, but her hand tightened on his. 1 second she was laughing at something I said. The next second, headlights. Then nothing. God, Autumn. My dad fell apart. Threw himself into work. Made billions. Built an empire. Never dealt with losing her. Just worked and pretended he was fine. She turned to face him. I grew up watching him survive instead of live. Watching him push people away. Watching him choose being safe over being happy. And I promised myself I'd never do that. It's not the same. It's exactly the same. Her green eyes held his. You're so afraid of losing again that you've already lost. You're not living, Garrett. You're just going through motions. And that's not fair to Ruby. It's not fair to you. And if you want to push me away because you don't feel anything, fine. But don't push me away because you're scared of feeling something. The truth of it hit like a wave. I'm not good at this, he said quietly. At what? Letting people in. Wanting things. Being vulnerable. Neither am I. You seem pretty good at it. She laughed. Sad. I've spent my whole life hiding who I really am. Pretending. Performing. This, she gestured at herself. This version of me? She's new. And she's terrified she'll screw it all up. You're not screwing anything up. Neither are you. They sat there. Hands still joined. The market noise distant. I don't know how to do this, Garrett said. Do what? Start over. Let myself want someone. Be the guy who gets a second chance. You don't have to know. You just have to try. A seagull landed near their bench. Eyed the donuts. What if I hurt you? He asked. What if you don't? What if you realize I'm just a broke contractor with a kid and a broken truck and you want more? What if that's exactly what I want? He looked at her. Really looked. Saw the hope and fear and truth in her eyes. One step, she said. That's all. Just one step toward this instead of away from it. One step. We have dinner together anyway. We live in the same house. We already talk. Just stop pretending you don't feel anything. Stop avoiding me. Let me in a little. He should say no. Should protect himself. Should remember all the reasons this was complicated. But her hand was warm in his. And the dahlias sat between them. And Ruby was right. He was allowed to be happy again. Okay, he said. Okay. One step. I can try one step. Her smile broke like sunlight. Yeah. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Tentative. Testing. He didn't pull away. They sat like that. Watching the water. Breathing together. Ruby returned exactly 20 minutes later. Saw them. Tried to hide her grin. Failed completely. Did you two finally talk like adults? She asked. We talked, Garrett said. And we're figuring it out. Ruby pumped her fist. Finally. Can we get lunch now? I'm starving. They stood. Started walking. Ruby led. Garrett and Autumn followed. Their hands brushed. Once. Twice. On the third time, his fingers caught hers. Held on. She looked up at him. Smiled. He smiled back. One step. Sunday evening. They came home full of clam chowder and happy. Ruby went upstairs to call a friend. Left Garrett and Autumn in the kitchen with the dahlias. I'll put these in water, Autumn said. I'll help. They worked together. Found vases under the sink. Filled them. Arranged the flowers. I never thanked you, Garrett said. For what? Coming to get me. Thursday. In the rain. You would have done the same. Yeah. But still. Thank you. She set a vase on the kitchen table. Purple blooms bright against the worn wood. They look good here. They do. She turned. They were close. Too close. Not close enough. Garrett. Yeah. I'm glad you took a step. Me too. He reached up. Tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. His hand lingered on her cheek. She leaned into the touch. They stood like that. Breathing each other's air. The world narrowed to this moment. This kitchen. This impossible thing blooming between them. I should, she started. Stay, he said. Just. Stay here. Like this. For a minute. So she did. And for the first time in 3 years, Garrett Fisher let himself want something. Let himself hope. Let himself fall. 1 week after Pike Place Market, and everything had changed. Garrett touched her now. Small things. His hand on the small of her back when they passed in the hallway. Fingers brushing hers when they cooked together. Sitting close on the couch during movie nights with Ruby. Nothing dramatic. Nothing Ruby could tease them about too mercilessly. But everything. Saturday night, Ruby was at a friend's house for a sleepover. First time Garrett and Autumn had been truly alone. They sat on the back porch, September darkness settling around them. Crickets singing. The neighbor's wind chimes tinkling. Autumn wore a soft blue sweater. Jeans. Hair down. She'd stopped trying so hard to look casual. Stopped performing normal. Around Garrett, she could just be. Tell me something true, he said. They'd started this game 3 nights ago. Trading truths. Small ones at first. Favorite colors. Childhood pets. Foods they hated. Tonight felt different. Something true, she repeated. Okay. I haven't talked to my father in almost a month. His eyebrows rose. That's a long time. We're not close. Haven't been for years. Since my mom died. What happened between you two? She pulled her knees to her chest. He disappeared into work. I disappeared into trying to make him notice me. Straight as. Perfect behavior. Everything he wanted. But it was never enough. He was already gone. That must have been lonely. It was. She rested her chin on her knees. By the time I was 16, I realized he didn't see me. He saw an extension of his image. His legacy. Something to manage and control. Garrett was quiet. Listening in that way he had. Full attention. No judgment. So I left, she continued. Went to college across the country. Came here for grad school. Started over. Does he know where you are? Her stomach tightened. No. Does he worry? Probably. But not about me. About how it looks. Rich man's daughter runs away. Bad optics. You think that's all it is? I know it is. She looked at him. My father loves his reputation more than he's ever loved me. Garrett reached over. Took her hand. His loss. The words cracked something open in her chest. Your turn, she said. Tell me something true. He was quiet for a long moment. Stars coming out overhead. I was angry at Karen for dying, he said finally. Autumn went still. For months after. Maybe a year. I was so angry. At her. At God. At the universe. At myself for being angry. He stared at their joined hands. She fought so hard. Did everything the doctors said. And it wasn't enough. And I was furious that she left us. Left me. Left Ruby without a mom. That's normal, Garrett. Doesn't make it easier. He swallowed. Ruby was 11. Grieving. Falling apart. And I had to hold it together. Had to be strong. Couldn't show her I was drowning. So I just worked. Kept moving. Kept surviving. You were doing your best. My best wasn't very good. You kept Ruby safe. Fed her. Loved her. That's everything. Sometimes I wonder if it was enough. If I should have gotten her therapy. If I should have talked about Karen more. If I should have done 1,000 things differently. Autumn squeezed his hand. You did what you could with what you had. That's all anyone can do. He looked at her. How'd you get so wise? Trauma. She smiled. Sad. Lots and lots of trauma. He laughed. Pulled her closer. She shifted. Rested her head on his shoulder. Fit perfectly there. I'm glad you answered my ad, he said quietly. Me too. Even though I was an idiot about it? Especially because you were an idiot about it. Made it more interesting. He pressed a kiss to the top of her head. Soft. Tentative. She closed her eyes. Let herself have this moment. This peace. Tried not to think about the lies between them. Tried not to think about what would happen when he learned the truth. A couple days later. Garrett's truck finally died completely. The mechanic in Georgetown called Tuesday afternoon. It's the transmission. Gonna cost about $3,000 to fix. Garrett stood in a client's driveway, phone pressed to his ear, feeling his stomach drop. 3,000. Could find a used transmission. Maybe knock it down to 2,000 he didn't have. Let me think about it, Garrett said. Sure thing. But the truck's taking up space in my lot. Need an answer by Friday. Garrett hung up. Stared at nothing. He had $800 in savings. Another job finishing up next week that would bring in $1,200. Rent due in 10 days. Electric bill overdue. Ruby needed new shoes. The house needed repairs he'd been putting off. $3,000 might as well be $3 million. He called his brother in Spokane. Hey Daniel. Quick question. Any chance you could loan me $2,000? Just for a month or two. Man, I wish. Kelly's pregnant again. Due in December. We're drowning over here. Right. Congratulations. You okay? Yeah. Fine. Just truck stuff. They talked for another minute. Garrett hung up. Sat in his truck. The truck that wouldn't start. The truck he needed for work. For getting Ruby to school. For everything. He could sell tools. Could take out a loan. Could figure something out. Always figuring something out. He was tired. So tired of the math never working. Of choosing between bills. Of being one broken transmission away from disaster. Later that evening. Autumn knew something was wrong the second Garrett walked through the door. His shoulders were tight. His jaw set. He moved through the kitchen like someone bracing for impact. Bad day, she asked. Truck's dead. Transmission. $3,000 to fix. She set her textbook down. Do you have it? No. The word was flat. Final. Ruby looked up from her homework. What are you going to do? Figure it out. Always do. He grabbed a beer from the fridge. Rare for him. I'll take the bus to job sites for a while. Save up. Dad, you can't take the bus with all your tools. Then I'll rent a truck when I need one. That costs money too. I know that, Ruby. His voice was sharp. He caught himself. Softened. Sorry. I know. I'll figure it out. He disappeared into the backyard. Ruby looked at Autumn. He's freaking out. I can tell. We don't have $3,000. I know we don't. I hear him at night sometimes. On the phone with the electric company. Asking for extensions. Autumn's heart cracked. Ruby. He works so hard. And it's never enough. And now this. Ruby's voice shook. I hate that he has to worry about this stuff. I hate that we're always broke. You're not broke. You have a home. Food. Each other. But he shouldn't have to choose between fixing his truck and buying me shoes. That's not fair. No. It wasn't. Autumn watched Garrett through the window. Pacing the backyard. Beer in hand. Shoulders bent under invisible weight. She could fix this. One phone call. One transfer. $3,000 was nothing to her. Less than nothing. But she couldn't. Because the second she offered money, he'd ask questions. Where did a grad student get $3,000? Why did she have it in cash? Who was she really? And the truth would destroy this. Destroy them. I'm going to check on him, Autumn said. She went outside. Found Garrett sitting on the porch steps. Sat beside him. Close enough their shoulders touched. You okay? She asked. Not really. Want to talk about it? Not much to say. I'm broke. My truck's dead. And I'm one disaster away from losing everything. He took a long drink. Same story. Different day. Garrett. You ever feel like you're running on a treadmill? Like you work and work and work and never get anywhere? Like the universe is just waiting to kick you down again? Yes. He looked at her. Surprised. After my mom died, I felt like that for years, she said. Like I was performing this life, but nothing was real. Like I was stuck in this loop I couldn't escape. How'd you get out? I left. Started over. Decided to choose something different. Must be nice. Having that option. The words stung. Because he was right. She had options he didn't. Money he didn't. Resources he couldn't imagine. And she was lying to him about all of it. I'm sorry, he said. That wasn't fair. It's fine. No. It's not. I'm taking my frustration out on you. He set the beer down. Turned to face her. You didn't sign up for this mess. What mess? Me. My life. The constant money stress. The dead truck. The chaos. I signed up for you, she said. All of you. Including the hard parts. You say that now. I mean it. He studied her face. Looking for a lie. Finding none. Because despite everything, despite the secret eating at her, this part was true. She wanted him. Wanted this life. Wanted the hard parts and the beautiful parts and everything in between. I don't deserve you, he said quietly. Yes, you do. He kissed her. Soft at first. Tentative. Then deeper. His hand cupping her face. Her fingers threading through his hair. When they pulled apart, both breathing hard, he rested his forehead against hers. I'm falling for you, he whispered. I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But I'm falling and I can't stop. Her heart shattered and soared at the same time. I'm falling too, she said. And it was true. And it was a lie. Because she was falling for him while lying to him. And when he learned the truth, this beautiful, fragile thing between them would break. Thursday afternoon arrived. Autumn sat in the university library, trying to focus on research. Her phone buzzed. Another text from her brother Tyler. Dad hired a private investigator. He's looking for you. Whatever you're doing, it's about to end. Her hands shook. She'd known this was coming. Known her father wouldn't let her disappear forever. Known the truth would surface eventually. But not yet. Please not yet. She deleted the text. Blocked Tyler's number. Looked around the library. Students everywhere. Normal lives. Normal problems. She'd had 6 weeks of normal. 6 weeks of being Autumn Brooks instead of Autumn Holland. 6 weeks of falling in love with a man who thought she was just a broke grad student. How long until the investigator found her? How long until her father showed up, billionaire and all, destroying everything? How long until Garrett learned she'd been lying since the day they met? Her phone buzzed again. Unknown number. Miss Holland, this is Patricia Reeves with Whitmore Investigations. Your father hired me to locate you. I know you're enrolled at University of Washington under your mother's name. I know you're living in Capitol Hill. I'll be contacting you soon to arrange your return home. Please make this easy. P. Reeves. The world tilted. They knew. They'd found her. Autumn stood. Grabbed her bag. Left the library. She had maybe a week. Maybe less. Before the investigator showed up at the house. Before her father arrived with lawyers and judgment and the full weight of his money. Before Garrett learned the truth. She had to tell him first. Had to explain. Had to make him understand why she lied. But how do you tell someone you love that everything was built on deception? How do you ask for forgiveness when you knew from the start this would hurt? She drove home. Hands gripping the wheel too tight. Pulled into the driveway. Saw a black Mercedes parked across the street. A woman in a tailored suit stood on the sidewalk. Watching the house. Patricia Reeves. The investigator. Autumn's world collapsed. She couldn't go inside. Couldn't lead this woman to Garrett and Ruby. Couldn't let her father's world collide with theirs. Not yet. She drove past the house. Kept going. Pulled into a parking lot 3 blocks away. Called the investigator's number. Patricia Reeves. This is Autumn Holland. Stay away from that house. Miss Holland. Your father has been extremely worried. I don't care. That house has nothing to do with me. The people inside have nothing to do with my father. Leave them alone. I'm afraid I can't do that. Your father wants you home. And I have a job to complete. How much is he paying you? That's between. How much? A pause. 50,000. I'll double it. 100,000 if you give me 1 week. Tell my father you haven't found me yet. Give me 7 days. Silence on the other end. Miss Holland. Please. 7 days. Then I'll come home voluntarily. No fight. No drama. Just give me 1 week. Why? Because I need to say goodbye. More silence. Then, 1 week. Starting today. You have until Thursday, September 27th. After that, I call your father with your location regardless. Thank you. Autumn hung up. Sat in her car. Shaking. 1 week. 7 days to figure out how to tell Garrett the truth. 7 days before her father showed up and destroyed everything. 7 days to say goodbye to the only real thing she'd ever had. What would you do if you had to choose between love and truth? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're hooked on this story, hit that subscribe button because the next part changes everything. Autumn came home Friday evening and found Garrett in the kitchen, teaching Ruby how to make Karen's lasagna. No, not like that, he said, guiding Ruby's hands. Layer the noodles first. Then sauce. Then cheese. Then repeat. This is way too much work, Ruby complained. Can't we just order pizza? Where's the love in pizza? In the fact that someone else makes it and brings it to me? Garrett laughed. Saw Autumn in the doorway. His whole face changed. Softened. Hey, he said. Hey. Something had shifted between them since Tuesday night. Since their kiss on the porch. Since his confession. The air felt different now. Charged. Intentional. Want to help? Ruby asked. Dad's making me do manual labor. I'm teaching you life skills. Same thing. Autumn set her bag down. Washed her hands. Joined them at the counter. They worked together. 3 people moving around each other like they'd done this for years instead of weeks. Garrett's hand on Autumn's waist when he reached past her for the cheese. Ruby singing off-key to music playing from her phone. Flour on everyone's clothes. Normal. Beautiful. Real. Autumn tried to memorize every detail. Every laugh. Every touch. 1 week left of this. Autumn. Ruby was staring at her. Sorry, what? I asked if you wanted to watch a movie after dinner. Dad said you two get to pick since I picked last time. Sure. Sounds great. Ruby studied her. You okay? You seem weird. I'm fine. Just tired. Garrett's hand found the small of her back. Steadied her. Long day. Yeah. Research paper kicking my ass. Language, he said automatically. Ruby rolled her eyes. She's 24, Dad. She can say ass. Not in my kitchen. Your kitchen? I live here too. Then our kitchen. So I can say ass in our kitchen. Ruby Marie Fisher. Autumn laughed. Couldn't help it. This banter. This family. This life. She wanted to keep it forever. They ate lasagna at the table. Garrett's chair had somehow migrated closer to Autumn's. Their knees touched underneath. Every time he passed her something, his fingers lingered. Ruby noticed. Said nothing. Just smiled into her food. After dinner, Ruby disappeared upstairs. I need to shower before movie night. Give you two some alone time. Ruby, Garrett started. I'll be down in 30 minutes. Try not to make out too much. She was gone before either of them could respond. Garrett shook his head. She's relentless. She wants you happy. She wants me married off so she can have grandkid stories to tell. She's 14. Exactly. Too young to be planning my romantic life. Autumn started clearing plates. Garrett helped. They moved to the sink. Can I ask you something? He said. Her stomach tightened. Sure. What are you so afraid of? She froze. Water running over a plate in her hands. What do you mean? You get this look sometimes. Like you're waiting for something bad to happen. Like this is all going to disappear. He turned off the water. Turned her to face him. What are you running from, Autumn? Everything. My father. My name. My life. The truth that will destroy us. Nothing, she lied. I don't believe you. Garrett. You never talk about your family except your mom and one brother. You pay rent in cash. You don't have social media. You jump every time your phone buzzes. His gray eyes searched hers. I'm not judging. I just want to understand. She couldn't breathe. Tell him. Tell him now. Before it's too late. But the words wouldn't come. I just want a fresh start, she said. Half true. My family is complicated. My dad and I don't get along. I needed space. That's all. That's all. Yes. He studied her face. Looking for cracks in the story. She held still. Held the lie. Finally, he nodded. Okay. Okay. Everyone deserves a fresh start. He pulled her closer. Arms around her waist. Whatever you're running from, you're safe here. The words broke her. She pressed her face into his chest. Let him hold her. Let herself have this moment even though it was built on deception. Thank you, she whispered. For what? For letting me in. For taking a chance on me. For this. He kissed the top of her head. Thank you for answering my ad. They stood like that. Kitchen quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. The world outside fading. Garrett. Yeah. If something happened. If I had to leave suddenly. Would you, her voice broke. Would you remember this? Would you remember us? He pulled back. Looked at her. Concern in his eyes. Why would you have to leave? I don't know. Sometimes things happen. Life changes. People leave. Are you planning to leave? No. She couldn't finish. He cupped her face. Thumbs wiping tears she didn't know she'd shed. Hey, look at me. She did. Whatever happens, I'm not going anywhere, he said. You're not alone in this. Whatever this is. Okay. She nodded. Throat too tight to speak. He kissed her. Different than Tuesday night. Not tentative. Not soft. This kiss was a promise. A claim. A desperate attempt to hold onto something fragile and perfect. She kissed him back. Hands in his hair. Body pressed against his. The world narrowed to this. His mouth. His hands. His heartbeat against hers. Okay, I'm coming down, Ruby yelled from upstairs. Everyone better be decent. They broke apart. Breathing hard. Autumn touched her lips. Tried to remember how to think. Garrett smiled. To be continued? Yeah, definitely. Ruby appeared in the kitchen doorway, hair wet, wearing pajamas. You two look guilty. We're not, Garrett said. Lies. I can see the kiss all over your faces. She grabbed popcorn from the pantry. Come on. Movie time. And you're both sitting next to me, so there's no funny business. Ruby. I said what I said, Dad. They watched The Princess Bride. Ruby's choice, apparently. It's a classic. Mom loved it. They sat on the couch. Ruby in the middle. Garrett on one side, Autumn on the other. 20 minutes in, Ruby's head drooped onto Garrett's shoulder. 10 minutes later, she was asleep. Garrett looked at Autumn over Ruby's head. Smiled. She does this every time, he whispered. Falls asleep halfway through. Should we move her? In a minute. She's comfortable. They watched the movie. Ruby snoring softly between them. When it ended, Garrett carefully lifted Ruby. Carried her upstairs. Tucked her into bed. Autumn watched from the doorway. Saw him kiss Ruby's forehead. Pull the blanket up. Turn off the light. He was such a good father. She's out, he said quietly, closing Ruby's door behind him. They stood in the hallway. Dim light from downstairs. The house settling into nighttime sounds. I should go to bed, Autumn said. Didn't move. Yeah, me too. He didn't move either. They stared at each other. Or, he said, you could come to my room. Just to talk. If you want. Her heart hammered. Okay. His room was simple. A bed. A dresser. A bookshelf full of woodworking books and novels. Photos of Ruby and Karen on the nightstand. Autumn sat on the edge of his bed. He sat beside her. I don't do this, he said. Do what? Invite women to my room. I haven't, since Karen, there hasn't been anyone. No one. No one. He looked at her. You're the first person I've wanted. In 3 years. The first person who's made me feel anything other than numb. Garrett. I need you to know that. What this is. What you are to me. It's not casual. It's not simple. He stopped. Swallowed. It's everything. She couldn't breathe. I know it's fast, he continued. I know we've only known each other a month. But I feel like I've been waiting for you. Like some part of me knew you were coming. I feel that too. Yeah. He kissed her again. Slow. Deep. His hands in her hair. Her hands on his chest, feeling his heartbeat. They lay back on the bed. Side by side. Kissing. Touching. Learning each other. He pulled back. Breathing hard. We should stop. Why? Because if we don't stop now, I won't want to stop at all. Maybe I don't want you to stop. His eyes darkened. Autumn. I want this. I want you. I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But I've never been more sure of anything. Are you sure? Completely. He kissed her again. Rolled on top of her. Weight pinning her to the bed. She wrapped her legs around him. Pulled him closer. They moved together. Clothes coming off. Hands exploring. Breath mingling. Wait, he said. Pulled back. I haven't needed. I'm on birth control. And I'm clean. Got tested last month. Me too. I haven't been with anyone since Karen, so. Garrett. Yeah. Stop talking. He laughed. Kissed her. Yes, ma'am. They made love slowly. Carefully. Learning each other's bodies. Finding rhythm. When it was over, they lay tangled together. Sweaty. Breathless. Complete. That was, he started. Yeah. I didn't know it could feel like that. Like what? Like coming home. She pressed her face into his chest. Let the tears come. Silent. Hidden. Because this was home. This man. This house. This life. And in 1 week, she'd lose all of it. The next morning. Autumn woke in Garrett's bed. Morning light streaming through the window. His arm around her waist. His breath steady against her neck. She'd never been happier. She'd never been more terrified. 6 days left. She turned in his arms. Studied his face. The lines around his eyes. The gray in his stubble. The peace on his face. He deserved better than her lies. You're staring, he mumbled, eyes still closed. You're pretty when you sleep. Pretty. Handsome. Whatever. He opened his eyes. Smiled. Morning. Morning. He kissed her. Morning breath and all. How are you feeling? Good. Really good. No regrets. None. You. Not even one. He pulled her closer. Although we should probably talk about what this means. For Ruby. For us. For living together. What do you want it to mean? I want you. Here. With us. As more than just a tenant. He traced patterns on her shoulder. I want to take you on dates. I want to hold your hand in public. I want Ruby to know you're important to me. I want that too. Yeah. So we're doing this? Officially. Officially. He grinned. Boyish. Beautiful. Garrett Fisher has a girlfriend. Didn't see that coming. Me neither. They lay there. Content. The world outside could wait. A knock on the door made them both jump. Dad. Ruby's voice. You awake? Yeah. Give me a minute. Is Autumn in there with you? Silence. Ruby, It's fine. I'm happy for you. Just wanted to know if I should make enough pancakes for 3. Autumn bit her lip to keep from laughing. Yeah, Garrett called. Make enough for 3. Knew it. Morgan owes me $10. You bet on this? Obviously. I had this week. She thought next week. See you downstairs. Wear clothes, please. Her footsteps retreated. Garrett groaned. I'm never going to hear the end of this. Probably not. She's going to tell everyone. Her friends. Her teachers. Random people at the grocery store. You raised a very enthusiastic kid. I raised a menace. Autumn kissed him. Come on. Let's go face the pancake inquisition. They got dressed. Went downstairs. Ruby stood at the stove, making pancakes, wearing a shirt that said World's Best Matchmaker. Where did you get that shirt? Garrett asked. Made it last night on one of those custom t-shirt websites. Rushed delivery. Worth every penny. You're ridiculous. I'm successful. Ruby flipped a pancake. So, how long have you two been sneaking around? We haven't been sneaking. Dad. I heard you two making out in the kitchen yesterday. I'm 14, not blind. Autumn felt her face heat. Garrett cleared his throat. Okay. Yes. Autumn and we're together. Officially. As of last night. Finally. Ruby plated pancakes. I thought you were going to dance around it forever. It's been a month, Ruby. An eternity in rom-com time. She handed them plates. I'm happy for you. Both of you. You're good together. Thanks, kid, Garrett said. Ruby hugged him. Then hugged Autumn. Take care of him. He's fragile. I'm not fragile. You cried during Finding Nemo. The mom dies in the first 5 minutes. Fragile. Ruby grabbed her own plate. Now let's eat. I want to hear all the disgusting romantic details. Absolutely not, Garrett said. They ate breakfast. Ruby asked 1,000 questions. Garrett deflected. Autumn laughed more than she had in years. This was family. This was home. This was everything. And in 6 days, it would all be gone. But right now, in this moment, with pancakes and laughter and Garrett's hand on her knee, she let herself believe it could last forever. If you could freeze one perfect moment and live in it forever, which moment would you choose? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and share this video with someone who believes in second chances. The next day arrived. 3 days left. Autumn sat in the university library, staring at her laptop. She tried to write her research paper. Tried to focus. Tried to pretend everything was normal. But nothing was normal. In 3 days, Patricia Reeves would call her father. In 3 days, Roger Holland would descend on Seattle with lawyers and judgment and the full force of his wealth. In 3 days, Garrett would learn the truth. Unless she told him first. She pulled out her phone. Opened a text to Garrett. We need to talk. Can you meet me after work? Her finger hovered over send. Before she could press it, someone sat down across from her. A man. 50s. Expensive suit. Cold eyes. Autumn Holland. Her blood went cold. I'm sorry, you have the wrong. Don't. He set a business card on the table. Roger Holland, CEO Holland Technologies. Your father sent me. He's done playing games. I have 3 more days. That was the deal with the investigator. The deal's changed. Your father wants you home. Now. Today. No. This isn't a negotiation. There's a car outside. Pack your things. Say goodbye to whoever you need to say goodbye to. You have 2 hours. You can't force me. I'm 24 years old. No, I can't force you. He leaned forward. But I can make life very difficult for the people you care about. The single father. The teenage daughter. The house they rent that's technically in violation of about 6 housing codes. Autumn's hands shook. Don't you dare. 2 hours, Miss Holland. Or I make a few phone calls. Code enforcement. Child services. IRS. I'm sure we can find something interesting in Mr. Fisher's finances. He stood. Walked away. Left Autumn sitting there, world collapsing around her. She had 2 hours to say goodbye to Garrett and Ruby. 2 hours before her father's world destroyed theirs. She grabbed her phone. Called Garrett. No answer. He was probably on a job site. She texted, I'm coming home early. Need to talk. It's important. Then she drove home. Hands shaking. Vision blurred with tears. When she pulled into the driveway, she saw it immediately. The black Mercedes. Still parked across the street. Patricia Reeves leaning against it. Watching. And beside her, someone else. A news van. Channel 7. A reporter with a microphone. No. No. Autumn's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered. Hello. Miss Holland, this is Cheryl Park with Channel 7 News. We're doing a story on Roger Holland's missing daughter. We have sources that say you've been living in Capitol Hill under an assumed name. Can you comment? Autumn hung up. Looked at the house. Garrett's truck wasn't there yet. Ruby was at school. She had maybe 10 minutes before this turned into a circus. She ran inside. Started throwing clothes into a bag. Books. Laptop. Everything. Her phone wouldn't stop ringing. Different numbers. Different reporters. She ignored them all. The front door opened. Ruby. Autumn? What are you doing? Why are there news people outside? Ruby, her voice broke. I have to leave. What? Why? I can't explain. I need to go. Right now. Ruby's face crumpled. Did something happen? Did we do something wrong? No. God, no. You didn't do anything. This is all me. This is. The door opened again. Garrett. He looked at the suitcase. At Autumn's tear-stained face. At Ruby's confusion. What's going on? He asked. I have to leave, Autumn said. Why? There are things I didn't tell you. Things about me. About my family. And they found me. And I have to go. What things? A knock on the door. Hard. Insistent. Mr. Fisher? This is Cheryl Park with Channel 7 News. We'd like to ask you a few questions about Autumn Holland. Garrett went still. Holland. I can explain. He opened the door. The reporter stood there, microphone ready. Camera behind her. Mr. Fisher, did you know your tenant is the daughter of billionaire Roger Holland? That she's been missing for over a month? That her father has been searching for her? Garrett turned. Stared at Autumn. She watched his face change. Confusion to understanding to betrayal. Billionaire, he said quietly. Garrett, please. Your last name isn't Brooks. No. You're not just a grad student. I am. That part's true. But You're a billionaire's daughter. Yes. Ruby looked between them. Wait, what? The reporter pushed forward. Miss Holland, can you tell us why you've been hiding? Is it true you've been living under an assumed name? Does your father know where you are? Get out, Garrett said. Voice hard. Get out of my house. Now. Mr. Fisher, just a few questions. I said get out. He slammed the door. Locked it. Turned back to Autumn. The look on his face destroyed her. How long? He asked. Garrett. How long have you been lying to me? Since the beginning. Since the day we met. Yes. Ruby's voice was small. I don't understand. She's rich, Ruby. Her father is Roger Holland. You know, the tech guy. The one worth like $20 billion. Garrett's voice was shaking. And she's been pretending to be broke. Pretending to be normal. Pretending to be someone she's not. I wasn't pretending with you, Autumn said. Everything between us was real. Everything was a lie. No. Your name is a lie. Your life is a lie. What else? The grad school thing? Is that real? Yes. That's real. I enrolled under my mother's maiden name. I wanted a fresh start. I wanted people to see me, not my father's money. So you lied? Yes. To everyone? Yes. He laughed. Bitter. Broken. I told you things. Private things. About Karen. About struggling. About how I couldn't afford to fix my truck. And the whole time, you could have fixed it with pocket change. I know. Do you have any idea how humiliating that is? I'm sitting there, stressed about $3,000, and you've got millions. Billions, probably. And you just sat there. Watched me struggle. Watched me worry. I wanted to help. I couldn't. Why? Because then I'd ask questions? Because then your little experiment in being normal would be over. It wasn't an experiment. Then what was it? I was trying to find something real. By lying. I know it doesn't make sense. You're right. It doesn't. He ran his hands through his hair. Paced. God, I'm such an idiot. You paid first and last month in cash. You never talked about your family. You jumped every time your phone rang. All the signs were there and I believed you. Everything I told you about my life was true. My mom did die. My father and I don't get along. I am trying to start over. But you left out the part where you're an heiress. Where you could buy this entire neighborhood without blinking. Where you're slumming it with the poor people for fun. That's not what this was. Then what was it, Autumn? Or is that even your real name? It is my real name. Great. One true thing. He stopped pacing. Looked at her. Did you mean any of it? Anything you said to me? Or was I just part of the experience? The working class boyfriend. The real life struggling single dad. How authentic. Don't do that. Do what? Make this ugly. Make what we had into something cheap. You did that. The second you lied to me. Ruby was crying now. Quiet tears streaming down her face. Autumn moved toward her. Ruby, I'm so sorry. Don't, Ruby said. Don't touch me. The words hit like a slap. Ruby. You lied to us. You made us care about you. You made Dad happy. And it was all fake. It wasn't fake. I love you both. That's real. That's the truest thing. Stop, Garrett said. Just stop. You don't get to say that. You don't get to claim you love us after lying for a month. I do love you. Love doesn't lie, Autumn. Love doesn't build itself on deception. Love doesn't watch someone struggle and stay silent because the truth is inconvenient. I was going to tell you. I had 3 more days before my father's investigator would have told him where I was. I was trying to figure out how. 3 more days? You were counting down? Like this was all temporary? Like we were just a phase? No. I wanted to stay. I wanted this to last. But you knew it wouldn't. You knew your father would find you eventually. You knew this would end. And you let us fall for you anyway. Outside, more news vans were arriving. Voices. Cameras. Chaos. Autumn's phone rang. Her father's number. I have to go, she said. Yeah, you do. Garrett, please. I trusted you. I let you into my life. Into Ruby's life. I let myself fall for you. And you were lying the entire time. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. More pounding on the door. Miss Holland, your father is on his way. He wants to speak with you. Autumn grabbed her bag. Looked at Garrett one last time. He wouldn't meet her eyes. I love you, she said. I know you don't believe me. But I do. I love you. And Ruby. And this life we built. It was the most real thing I've ever had. Get out, he said quietly. Garrett. Get out. She left. Walked out the front door into a swarm of reporters and cameras and questions. Patricia Reeves stood by the Mercedes. Your father's plane lands in 30 minutes. He wants to see you immediately. Autumn climbed into the car. Watched through the back window as Garrett closed the door. As the house where she'd been happiest disappeared behind news vans and chaos and the wreckage of everything she'd destroyed. She'd found love. And she'd killed it with lies. That same evening, Roger Holland's Seattle hotel suite occupied the entire top floor of the Four Seasons downtown. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Wait, no, large windows overlooking Puget Sound. White leather furniture. Art worth more than most houses. Autumn stood in the middle of it all, still wearing her jeans and university sweatshirt, and felt nothing. Her father sat in an armchair. 62 years old. Gray hair perfectly styled. Custom suit that cost more than Garrett made in 2 months. Eyes that saw everything and felt nothing. Sit down, he said. I'd rather stand. Autumn. You had no right. To send investigators. To call the media. To ruin everything. I was worried about you. Liar. The word came out sharp. Final. You were worried about your image. About what people would think. Billionaire can't even keep track of his own daughter. Bad optics. His jaw tightened. That's not fair. Isn't it? When did you last call me, Dad? Before I left. When did you last ask how I was doing? What I was studying? What I wanted? You disappeared. I left. There's a difference. I told Tyler I was fine. I told him not to worry. But you couldn't let it go. Because it looked bad. Because people were asking questions. You're my daughter. Am I? She stepped closer. Because I spent 12 years trying to be your daughter. After Mom died. 12 years trying to get you to see me. To notice me. To care about something other than your company and your wealth and your reputation. I gave you everything. You gave me money. That's not the same as giving me you. He stood. I worked hard to build this empire. To provide for you. To make sure you'd never want for anything. I wanted a father. That's all. Just a father who showed up. Who asked about my day. Who cared. Her voice cracked. Instead, I got a checkbook and a list of expectations. Autumn. I left because I was suffocating. Because I needed to find out who I was without your money, your name, your shadow. And I did. For 1 month, I was just me. Just Autumn. And I was happy. Happy? Living in some rental house? With a contractor and his child. Yes. Happier than I've ever been in your world. That's not real life. It's more real than this. She gestured at the suite. At the wealth. At the emptiness. That house? Those people? They cared about me. Not my bank account. Not my connections. Me. And then you lied to them. The words landed like a punch. Yeah, she said quietly. I did. And I ruined it. Just like you taught me. What's that supposed to mean? You taught me that relationships are transactions. That people only want you for what you can give them. That trust is a weakness. She looked at him. Really looked. So I hid who I was. Because I thought if they knew about the money, they'd stop seeing me. Just like everyone else. So this is my fault. No. The lying was my choice. The consequences are mine. But you made me so afraid of being used that I couldn't be honest. Even with someone who loved me for real. Roger was quiet. Studying his daughter like she was a stranger. He's too old for you, he said finally. He's 35. He has a child. Responsibilities. He's broke, Autumn. He can't provide for you. I don't need him to provide for me. I need him to see me. To choose me. To be real with me. She felt tears building. Pushed them back. But I destroyed that. So it doesn't matter anyway. Come home. Back to Boston. I'll get you into a proper graduate program. MIT. Harvard. You can start over. No. Autumn. I'm staying in Seattle. I'm finishing my degree here. Under my own name this time. No more hiding. She moved toward the door. You can't control me anymore, Dad. I'm done letting you. Where will you live? I'll figure it out. With what money? My trust fund. The one from Mom's parents that you can't touch. He flinched. Your grandmother would want you safe. My grandmother would want me happy. There's a difference. She opened the door. I'm sorry I worried you. I'm sorry I left the way I did. But I'm not sorry I found out who I am without you. Autumn, wait. She left. Walked out of the suite. Out of the hotel. Into the Seattle evening. Pulled out her phone. Stared at Garrett's number. He wouldn't answer. Why would he? She'd lied. She'd betrayed him. She'd destroyed everything. But she had to try. She typed, I'm sorry. For everything. You deserved the truth from the start. I was a coward. I was so afraid of being used for my money that I couldn't see I was using you for your authenticity. You and Ruby gave me something real, and I repaid you with lies. I don't expect forgiveness. I just need you to know that every moment with you was real. Every word I said about loving you was true. You taught me what it means to be brave. To show up. To choose people over pride. I'm sorry I learned that lesson too late. I love you. I'll always love you. Even if you never want to see me again. Take care of Ruby. Take care of yourself. You deserve every happiness. Autumn. She sent it. Sat on a bench in Westlake Park. Watched people pass. Couples holding hands. Families laughing. Normal people living normal lives. She'd had that for 1 month. And she'd thrown it away. Later that night, Garrett sat in his dark living room. Reporters had finally left around 8. Ruby was upstairs. The house felt empty. His phone sat on the coffee table. Autumn's text glowing on the screen. He'd read it 5 times. Each time hurt more. Ruby came downstairs. Sat beside him. Didn't say anything. Just sat. They stayed like that for a long time. You should answer her, Ruby said finally. No, Dad. She lied, Ruby. About everything. Not everything. She loved us. That was real. How do you know? Because I saw it. Every day. The way she looked at you. The way she helped me with homework when she was exhausted. The way she fit into our family like she'd always been here. Ruby pulled her knees up. She lied about her name and her money. But she didn't lie about caring. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. She made a mistake. A big one. But people make mistakes, Dad. Some mistakes are too big to fix. Do you love her? The question hung there. Ruby. Do you love her? Yes or no? It doesn't matter. It's the only thing that matters. Do you love her? He closed his eyes. Yes. Then fight for her. She lied to me for a month. She watched me struggle with money. She let me tell her things I've never told anyone. And the whole time she was lying. She was scared. Just like you were scared to let her in. Just like you were scared to love someone again after Mom. Ruby turned to face him. You're mad because she lied. But you're also mad because she's rich. Because you think that means you're not good enough for her. That's not. It is, Dad. I hear you. At night. On the phone with bill collectors. Stressing about money. Thinking you're not enough. But you are enough. You've always been enough. His throat tightened. Mom died. It was horrible. And you kept us together. You loved me. You fed me. You showed up every single day. That's enough, Dad. That's everything. Ruby. Autumn lied because she was scared people only wanted her money. You're pushing her away because you're scared you don't have enough money. You're both idiots. Despite everything, he almost smiled. She texted you, Ruby said. I saw it light up. What did she say? He handed her the phone. Ruby read the message. Tears filled her eyes. Dad. She loves you. Love isn't enough. It's the only thing that is enough. She handed the phone back. Call her. Text her. Go to her. Whatever. Just don't throw this away because your pride is hurt. It's more than pride. Is it? Or are you just scared? Scared that if you forgive her, she might leave again. Scared that loving someone means risking loss. Scared that being happy means being vulnerable. The truth of it cut deep. What if I forgive her and she breaks my heart again? He asked quietly. What if you don't forgive her and you break your own heart? He looked at his daughter. 14 years old. Wise beyond her years. Karen would be so proud. When did you get so smart? He asked. I learned from the best. She hugged him. Talk to her, Dad. At least talk to her. Hear her out. Really hear her. Then decide. She went back upstairs. Left Garrett alone with his phone. With Autumn's message. With the choice. He could stay angry. Stay hurt. Stay safe. Or he could choose vulnerability. Choose risk. Choose love. He picked up his phone. Typed, "Where are you?" 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. Finally, Westlake Park. On a bench by the fountain. He grabbed his keys. His jacket. Ruby called from upstairs. "Where are you going?" "To do something stupid," he called back. Finally. He drove downtown. Found parking. Walked into Westlake Park. Saw her immediately. Sitting on a bench. Alone. Head down. Shoulders shaking. She was crying. His anger wavered. He walked over. Sat beside her. She looked up. Eyes red. Face wet with tears. "Garrett. I got your text. I meant every word. I know. I'm so sorry. For lying. For hurting you. For all of it." He was quiet. Watching the fountain. Watching the city move around them. "My wife died 3 years ago," he said. "And I promised myself I'd never put Ruby through that pain again. Never let someone in who could leave. Who could break us. I understand. I'm not finished." He looked at her. "Then you showed up. And you broke through every wall I built. You made me want things again. Feel things again. Hope for things again. And when I found out you'd been lying, it felt like losing Karen all over again. Like the universe was proving me right. That letting people in only leads to pain." Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. "But Ruby's right," he continued. "You lied because you were scared. And I'm pushing you away because I'm scared. And if we let fear win, we lose everything." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm going to need time to trust you again." He took her hand. "But I love you. And I don't want to lose you. And I think you're worth fighting for." She broke. Collapsed into his arms. Sobbed into his chest. He held her. Let her cry. Let himself cry. "I'll earn your trust back," she said through tears. "However long it takes. I'll be honest. About everything. No more secrets. No more lies. Starting now. Starting now. Okay." He pulled back. Looked at her. "Tell me everything. Every truth. Who you really are." She took a breath. Nodded. "My name is Autumn Brooks Holland. My father is Roger Holland. He's worth about $19 billion. My mom was Catherine Brooks. She died when I was 12. Car accident. My father buried himself in work. I have one brother, Tyler. He's 28. Lives in Boston. Works for my father." She paused. He waited. "I went to private schools my whole life. Everyone wanted something from me. My name. My connections. My father's money. I never had real friends. Never had anyone who saw me. Just me. Keep going. I enrolled at University of Washington under my mother's maiden name. Paid tuition from a trust fund my maternal grandparents left me. Started over. Wanted to see if anyone would care about me without the money. Without the name. And I found you. And Ruby. And I fell in love with your life. Your realness. The way you loved your daughter. The way you worked with your hands. The way you made me feel seen." She looked at him. "I lied because I was scared you'd see the money instead of me. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." He was quiet. Processing. $19 billion, he said finally. "Give or take. That's a lot of money. It's an obscene amount of money. And you chose to live in my rental house. With the peeling paint and the cracked linoleum. Best choice I ever made." He shook his head. Almost smiled. "You're ridiculous. I know. And I'm still mad at you. I know. But I love you. I love you too." He kissed her. Soft. Tentative. Testing. She kissed him back. Desperate. Grateful. Real. When they pulled apart, he rested his forehead against hers. "We're going to have to talk about this," he said. "All of it. The money. The lying. What this means for us." "I know. We'll talk. About everything. I promise. And I need you to meet Ruby's expectations. She's going to have a lot of questions. I'll answer all of them. And no more secrets. No more secrets." He stood. Pulled her up. "Come on. Let's go home." "Home." "Yeah. Our home. If you still want it." She smiled through tears. More than anything. They walked back to his truck. Hand in hand. Drove back to Capitol Hill. Back to the house with the blue paint and the small rooms and the life they'd built. Ruby was waiting on the porch. When she saw them, she grinned. I told you talking worked. You were right, Garrett said. I'm always right. When are you going to learn this? Autumn laughed. Ruby, I owe you an apology too. Yeah, you do. Ruby crossed her arms. But I'll forgive you. On one condition. Anything. You keep helping me with math. Because Dad's terrible at it. Hey, Garrett protested. And you teach me about environmental science. And you let me be in your wedding someday. Ruby, Garrett warned. What? I'm thinking ahead. Autumn hugged her. Deal. All of it. Ruby hugged back. Tight. Don't lie to us again. Never. I promise. They went inside. Together. The three of them. A family forged in honesty. In second chances. In love that survived the truth. 3 weeks later. The kitchen table had become their negotiation zone. Every evening for 3 weeks, after Ruby went to bed, Garrett and Autumn sat across from each other with coffee and truth. They talked about money. About trust. About what their future looked like. Tonight was different. Tonight, Roger Holland was coming to dinner. I can't believe I'm about to meet a billionaire, Ruby said, setting the table. She'd changed her outfit 4 times. Currently wore a purple dress and her nicest sneakers. What do I even call him? Mr. Holland? Sir? Your richness. Ruby, Garrett said from the stove. He was making pot roast. Karen's recipe. Comfort food. Just call him Roger. And be yourself. What if he hates me? He won't hate you. What if he thinks we're not good enough for Autumn? Garrett's hands stilled on the knife. The question he'd been asking himself for 3 weeks. Autumn came downstairs. She wore jeans and a soft green sweater. Simple. Real. Beautiful. He's not going to think that, she said, catching the end of Ruby's question. She moved to Garrett's side. Touched his arm. And if he does, I don't care. You should care, Garrett said quietly. He's your father. You're my family. You and Ruby. That's what matters. The doorbell rang. Ruby jumped. He's here. Okay. Deep breaths. We can do this. We can do this, Autumn repeated. Squeezed Garrett's hand. Together. She opened the door. Roger Holland stood on the porch. He'd aged since Autumn had seen him at the hotel. More gray in his hair. New lines around his eyes. He wore slacks and a simple button-down. No suit. No armor. Hi, Dad. Autumn. He looked past her. Saw Garrett and Ruby. Thank you for having me. Come in, Garrett said. Extended his hand. Garrett Fisher. Roger shook it. His grip was firm. Assessing. Roger Holland. This is my daughter, Ruby. Ruby stepped forward. Shook Roger's hand. Nice to meet you, sir. Ruby. Autumn's told me a lot about you. She has. She says you're brilliant at math now. Top of your class. Ruby beamed. Looked at Autumn. You told him that? Because it's true. They sat at the table. The pot roast in the center. Mashed potatoes. Green beans from the farmer's market. Simple. Honest. Real. Roger looked around. At the worn furniture. The mismatched plates. The dahlias still fresh in a vase. This is a nice home, he said. It's small, Garrett said. But it works for us. Small doesn't mean less valuable. Roger served himself. Took a bite. His eyebrows rose. This is excellent. Thanks. My wife's recipe. Autumn told me about Karen. I'm sorry for your loss. Garrett nodded. Thank you. They ate in silence for a moment. The awkwardness thick. Ruby cleared her throat. So, Mr. Holland. What's it like being super rich? Ruby, Garrett warned. What? I'm curious. Does he have like a yacht? A private island? A robot that makes his breakfast? Despite himself, Roger smiled. I have a boat. No island. No robots. Mostly I just work a lot and wonder where time went. That sounds lonely. The honesty landed hard. Roger set his fork down. It is, he said quietly. It's very lonely. You should get a hobby, Ruby suggested. Dad builds things. It makes him happy. Well, when his tools cooperate. What makes you happy? Roger looked at Autumn. I'm trying to figure that out. After dinner, Ruby disappeared upstairs to give the adults space. Roger, Garrett, and Autumn sat in the living room. Coffee in hand. The conversation they'd all been avoiding finally here. I need to apologize, Roger said. To both of you. For the investigators. For the media circus. For threatening you, Garrett. You threatened him? Autumn's voice went sharp. One of my people implied we'd make trouble if Autumn didn't come home immediately. It was wrong. I was desperate. Not an excuse, just the truth. Garrett was quiet. Then, you love your daughter. I understand that impulse to protect. But you almost destroyed what we had. I know. And I'm sorry. Roger turned to Autumn. I've been a terrible father. After your mother died, I buried myself in work. I told myself I was providing, building a future. But really, I was running from grief. And I left you alone with yours. Autumn's eyes filled. Dad. You were right. About all of it. I chose reputation over relationship. Empire over family. And I lost you. His voice broke. I almost lost you forever. And I would have deserved it. You didn't lose me. But I could have. Because I was too proud to see what mattered. Too afraid to feel anything. He looked at Garrett. You love her. I can see it. The way you look at her. The way you protect her without diminishing her. The way Ruby talks about her like she's already family. I do love her, Garrett said simply. More than I thought I could love anyone again. She's lied to you. Hurt you. Complicated your life beyond measure. And you still chose her. Yes. Why? Because love isn't about what someone gives you. It's about who they are when everything else falls away. And Autumn, without the money and the name and all the noise, is the most real person I've ever met. She's kind. She's brave. She's flawed and honest, and she shows up. That's enough. That's everything. Autumn was crying now. Silent tears. Roger nodded slowly. I can't offer you much, Garrett. I don't know how to be a family man. I've failed at that spectacularly. But I can promise I'll try. I'll stop interfering. I'll respect your relationship. And I'll work on being the father Autumn deserves. That's all I want, Autumn said. Just you. Trying. Roger stood. Hugged his daughter. Really hugged her. They held each other. Years of distance closing. Not fixed. Not perfect. But beginning. A couple days later. Garrett came home from work to find a tow truck in his driveway. And his truck. Fixed. Running. Parked like it had never been dead. He got out. Stared. Autumn appeared on the porch. Nervous. Before you get mad. What did you do? I fixed your truck. Well, I paid to have it fixed. New transmission. Oil change. New tires because the old ones were terrible. Please don't be mad. Autumn. I know we talked about money. About boundaries. About not fixing your problems with my bank account. But this isn't about that. This is about you needing your truck for work. For Ruby. For life. And I can help. So I did. Because that's what people who love each other do. They help. He walked up the porch steps. Stopped in front of her. How much? Does it matter? Autumn. 4,000. With the tires and the tune-up. He closed his eyes. That's more than I make in a month. I know. And I don't care. Because you needed help. And I can give it. And that doesn't make you less. It doesn't make me your savior. It makes us a team. I don't know how to do this. How to accept help. How to let you give me things without feeling like I'm using you. You're not using me. You're letting me love you. There's a difference. She took his hands. Garrett, we're going to have to figure out the money thing. I have a lot of it. You don't. That's reality. But it doesn't change what we are. Who we are. Unless we let it. I'm always going to struggle with this, he said honestly. With feeling like I'm not enough. Like I can't provide the way you deserve. You provide everything I need. You. Your love. Your honesty. Your incredible pot roast. She smiled. The money is just money. It doesn't define me. And it doesn't define us. Unless we give it that power. He pulled her close. Kissed her forehead. Thank you. For the truck. For understanding. For choosing this life even though you could have anything. This is everything. Ruby came outside. Saw the truck. Wait, is it fixed? Can we actually drive somewhere without calling the bus schedule? It's fixed, Garrett said. Autumn did it, didn't she? Yeah. Ruby high-fived Autumn. Thank you. Seriously. Riding the bus was getting old. Anytime. They stood on the porch. The three of them. Watching the sun set over Capitol Hill. So, Ruby said. Are you two going to get married or what? Ruby, Garrett said. What? It's been 6 weeks. In rom-com time, that's like 3 years. Proposal should be happening any day now. Maybe let your dad figure that out on his own timeline, Autumn said. His timeline is too slow. He spent 3 years not dating. We can't wait another 3 years for a proposal. Who says I'm proposing? Garrett asked. Please. You're already planning it. I can tell. You get this look. Like when you're designing furniture. All focused and secretive. Autumn looked at Garrett. Is that true? He smiled. Said nothing. Dad, you're the worst at secrets. Good thing I'm not trying to keep one then. 1 month later. They hosted Thanksgiving at the house. Roger came. Tyler came, flying in from Boston. A few of Garrett's friends from job sites. Ruby invited 2 of her closest friends. The table was too small. People ate on the couch, the porch, standing in the kitchen. It was chaos. It was perfect. Garrett carved the turkey. Autumn made sweet potatoes. Ruby supervised everything while documenting it on her phone. Roger and Tyler sat at the table, looking uncomfortable but trying. Learning how to be part of something real. After dinner, after everyone left, after Ruby fell asleep on the couch mid-movie, Garrett and Autumn sat on the back porch. November cold settling in. Stars bright overhead. I have something for you, Garrett said. Yeah. He pulled out a small box. Wooden. Handmade. Intricate carvings on the lid. I made this. Took me 3 weeks. Almost ruined it twice. He handed it to her. Open it. Inside, a ring. Simple silver band. A small emerald stone. Nothing flashy. Nothing expensive. Beautiful. It was Karen's grandmother's ring, he said quietly. Karen wore it on her right hand. She told me once, before she died, that if I ever found someone again, I should give this to her. Said it carried good love. Strong love. Autumn couldn't breathe. I'm not asking you to marry me right now, he continued. We're still figuring things out. Still learning each other. But I'm asking you to know that I want forever with you. I want to build a life. I want to wake up next to you for the rest of my days. I want to give you everything I am, even though it's not much. It's everything, she whispered. So will you? When the time is right. When we've figured out the hard stuff. Will you marry me? Officially? Ruby as your witness and probably your unofficial wedding planner. She laughed through tears. Yes. God, yes. Right now. Tomorrow. Whenever. Yes. He slipped the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. She kissed him. Deep. Full of promise. Full of future. When they pulled apart, he smiled. Ruby's going to lose her mind. She's going to say she told us so. For the rest of our lives, probably. Worth it. They sat there. Hand in hand. Ring catching starlight. 2 broken people who found each other. Who chose honesty over fear. Who built something real from the wreckage of lies. I love you, he said. I love you too. Inside, Ruby's phone chimed. A text from her. Both of them checked their phones. I'm not asleep. I heard everything. Finally. Can I start planning the wedding now? Also, I want to be maid of honor. Non-negotiable. Love you both. Don't stay up too late making out. Ruby. They laughed. Went inside. Found Ruby sitting up on the couch, grinning like she'd won the lottery. I knew it, she said. I called it from day one. You did, Garrett admitted. So can I plan the wedding? We're not getting married tomorrow, Ruby. But soon. Autumn smiled. Soon. Good. Because I already have a Pinterest board. I've been ready for weeks. They sat together. The 3 of them. On the worn couch in the small house in Capitol Hill. A single dad who'd learned to love again. A billionaire's daughter who'd found something real. A 14-year-old girl who'd gained the mother she'd been missing. A family built on truth. On second chances. On love that survived the hard parts. Outside, Seattle settled into night. Inside, they were home. 8 months later. The wedding was small. Volunteer park. Under the trees. 50 people. Ruby in a lavender dress she'd picked herself, standing beside Autumn as maid of honor. Tyler standing beside Garrett as best man. Roger in the front row, tears on his face as he watched his daughter marry for love. Autumn wore a simple white dress. Flower crown that Ruby had made. Karen's ring on her finger. Garrett wore his best jeans and a button-down shirt. Nervous. Happy. Whole. I, Autumn Brooks Holland, take you, Garrett Fisher, her voice broke. Started again. I take you as you are. With your stubborn pride and your incredible heart. With your calloused hands that build beautiful things. With your love that saved me. I promise to be honest. To show up. To choose you every day. In the hard moments and the beautiful ones. For as long as we both live. I, Garrett Fisher, take you, Autumn Holland, he smiled. I take you as you are. With your fierce heart and your brilliant mind. With your courage that pushed me to live again. With your love that made me whole. I promise to trust you. To see you. To choose you every day. In the struggles and the joy. For as long as we both live. They kissed. Everyone cheered. Ruby cried. Happy tears. The first she'd shed since her mother died that weren't about loss. After the ceremony, after the cake and dancing and celebration, Garrett and Autumn drove home. To the house in Capitol Hill. The house where it all started. They'd bought it. Autumn had insisted. Made an offer the landlord couldn't refuse. It was theirs now. They were renovating slowly. New paint. New floors. Keeping the bones. Keeping the memories. Building new ones. Ruby was already asleep in her room when they arrived. Exhausted from wedding excitement. Garrett and Autumn sat at the kitchen table. The same table where they'd eaten dinner that first week. Where they'd fallen in love over lasagna and conversation. Fresh dahlias sat in the center. Purple blooms. Like the ones from Pike Place Market. We did it, Autumn said. We did. You okay, Mrs. Fisher? I'm keeping Holland professionally. But yes. I'm more than okay. She took his hand. I'm home. He kissed her hand. So am I. They sat there. In the kitchen where it all began. Where a single dad had rented a room to a college girl. Where lies had given way to truth. Where brokenness had found healing. Where love had won. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is tell the truth. Even when it's hard. Even when it costs us everything. Because real love survives honesty. It's built on it. If this story moved you, if you believe in second chances and love that fights for itself, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more stories that dig deep and leave you changed. And tell us in the comments, have you ever had to choose between comfort and truth? We'd love to hear your story.
Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed this story, you will surely love the next one. It's as interesting and even more intriguing as can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click on the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.